Evening, everybody. Welcome to this meeting of the Budget and Corporate Scrutiny Management Board. This will be live streamed. My name is Councillor Luke Giles and I'll be chairing this evening's meeting. Just a couple of housekeeping things. Can I ask all attendees to mute their microphones unless they have been invited to speak? If anybody wishes to speak, please use the hand up icon or send a message on the chat. I will invite you to turn on your microphone and speak at the appropriate time. When you are finished speaking, please turn off your microphone when you have finished. And finally, can I invite all members to introduce themselves in turn, and we will start with Elaine.
Councillor Elaine Giles, Chair of the Health and Adult Social Care Scrutiny Committee.
Thank you. Laura?
Councillor Laura Rollins, Chair of Economy, Skills, Transport and Environment Scrutiny Board.
Thank you. Liam?
Thanks, Chair. I'm Councillor Liam Priest. I'm the Vice Chair of the Children's Services and Education Scrutiny Board.
Thank you. Bob?
Yeah, Councillor Bob Piper, Vice Chair of the Health and Adult Social Care Scrutiny Board.
Thank you for that. So we'll move on to the agenda. Apologies of absence. Paul Moore has messaged me and he's running a little bit late, but he's hoping to join us. There is no more, am I right, Alex?
That's correct, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you for that. If we can move on to the minutes of meeting on the 12th of October, move them as a correct record. Do I have a seconder?
Seconded, Chair.
Are they all approved?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Moving to the minutes of the 11th of November. Can I move these as a correct record, and do I have a seconder, please?
Seconded.
Are they approved?
Aye.
Okay, we'll move on to item number 3. Members to declare any matters of interest. So do members have any interest to declare? Now, do they have any party political whips to declare? I'll take that as a no. So we'll move on to item number 4. There are no additional items of business. So we'll move to item number 5, leisure in Sandwell. Laura, are you wishing to come in at this stage?
Yes, Chair, thank you. Can I move to the deferral of this item to be considered at a re-adjourned meeting of the board in order to allow all parties to attend?
Do I have a seconder on that?
Seconded.
So that's agreed, and we'll defer that to a further date.
Thank you.
We'll move to item number 6, quarter 2 budget monitoring. Can I ask the officers to present this item?
Thanks, Chair. Yeah, that's over to me. The quarter 2 budget monitoring was reported to Cabinet on the 18th of November. Just to summarise what the monitoring says, we're projecting an underspend of £128,000 across directorates, excluding public health and central items, although there are some significant variances within this figure, most notably an underspend of 4.1 million against adults and an overspend of 2.9 million against children's services. The report outlines the main reason for these variances, and I have got the business partners responsible for adults, neighbours and children's here to answer any questions that you may have on those areas. Unfortunately, the business partner for resources is unavailable, and therefore we may need to take some queries back on that area and come back to you if you have anything. Including public health and central items, the overall underspend increases to 1.295 million, but public health underspend has to be ring-fenced within that grant. The projection includes the use of £14.7 million of reserves and one-off corporate resources, which when taken into account means that the overall projected overspend for the council is 9.948 million. However, it should be noted that this is a planned use of earmarked balances that were set aside at the beginning of the financial year, and therefore it does not reduce the council's free balances. And the projection also includes the use of £13.9 million of the COVID emergency funding that we've had allocated. The remainder of that will be being used to offset reductions in some commercial income and also council tax and business rates. So that's a summary of the report. I was planning to just open it up for questions now for the members, Chair.
Thank you for that. Any questions off any members? Liam, do you want to come in, my friend?
Thanks, Chair. Just on the overspending children's, I mean, the reasons for that have been quite extensively reported back to the board that I am acting as chair for at the moment. I know you mentioned the ring fencing of monies around public health. Is that the entire budget, or can some, just on a point of clarity for me really and a point of understanding, is there any possibility to transfer any of the underspending in adult social care over to children's social care, or is that simply not possible under the rules?
In terms of the public health funding, there's very specific outcomes that you have to meet or show that you're meeting those outcomes in order to make use of the public health grant. And so we do allocate that grant to other directorates where public health outcomes are being worked towards. But I don't think that the SEND transport is one of those outcomes. We've certainly never been able to allocate it towards that before, so I don't think it would be possible.
Thanks for that. Any other questions? So obviously, my question is the overspend. How do we plan to address that next year?
In terms of the overall overspend, the main reason for that is because we've actually planned to use reserves. So what happens is it looks like an overspend in the current financial year, but we're making use of reserves that have been brought forward on the balance sheet. So it's not actually an overspend that we'll need to carry forward and address next financial year.
Okay, thanks for that. Any other questions? No? No other questions? I think you've got up slightly this evening. Thanks for attending, and we'll see you again soon, hopefully.
I think there's another item that I'm presenting, Chair.
Oh, you're coming in on item 7? Yeah. Right. Okay, no worries. We'll move on to item number 7. We're going to move to that the public and press are excluded from the rest of this meeting. This will avoid the possible disclosure of exempt information under Schedule 12A of the Local Government Act 1972 and was amended by the local government for the variant of information 2016 for the relating to financial or business. So we will move on that one. Do I have a seconder?
Seconded, Chair.
All in favour? Elaine, are you okay with that?
Yeah, fine.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chair. Can we just adjourn for a brief moment while we end the live stream?
Yep.
Thank you.